Only on RTV6, crazy video there as a driver peels out of a DUI checkpoint on the south side of Indianapolis, barely missing our cameras. But do these sobriety checkpoints actually catch drunk drivers? Call 6 Investigates Kara Kenny is finding out how many arrests are really being made and what it means for you on the road if you get stopped.
The holidays are prime time for drinking. They're also the biggest time of year for drunk driving arrests. Local police will be out and about doing sobriety checkpoints that cost thousands of dollars each. But we wanted to find out what you, the taxpayer, are getting for that. Selena Kelshaw wasn't a poet, but that day in 2002, she wrote a poem. Her mom, Pam, shared it with us.
I love you unconditionally, your heart I see. So when in need, please call on me. I am your guardian angel.
Hours after writing those words, Selena was dead, killed by a drunk driver at the age of 17.
Well, that day, she says, I love you, Mommy. And I said, ditto. And that was the last words I said to my daughter.
To honor Selena's memory, Pam stops by DUI checkpoints like this one to remind officers why they're here.
Is your driver's license and registration, please.
Call 6 Investigates cameras captured this Friday night blitz on Madison Avenue as part of the national campaign Drive Sober or Get Pulled Over.
We are here to detect impaired drivers.
This checkpoint cost $5,000 in federal dollars.
We're not playing. We don't play. If we can arrest you, you're going to jail for DUI.
A scary moment as a teenage driver busts out of the checkpoint, leaving his ID with officers.
That car had marijuana in it. That's why he fled.
A warrant was issued for the teen's arrest. But what about cuffing drunk drivers at the checkpoint? Of the 368 vehicles they checked this night, police arrested one person for drinking and driving. That's just 0.3%. So is that a fluke? Maybe not. We obtained statewide statistics from the Indiana Criminal Justice Institute for the past 4 years. Of the 91,000 cars that went through checkpoints, either drove through or stopped, less than 1% were arrested for drunk driving.
Is that a concern at all?
I don't think so. I think
we shared our findings with Mothers Against Drunk Driving Indiana spokeswoman Annie Baker.
We know that these aren't for high arrest rates. They're not looking for huge numbers.
But do they really work?
I think so. I think that's why we see them so often. We know if we continue, if we're consistent, if they're publicized well, that they are effective.
The biggest cost for sobriety checkpoints is staffing. Typically, you have at least a dozen officers working 4 hours for a cost of about $2,000 to $7,000 each checkpoint.
Is that money well spent to you?
I think so. If it's life saved, it is.
If you pass through a sobriety checkpoint, statewide data shows you're more likely to get a citation for something other than drunk driving. Indiana officers issued hundreds of citations for equipment violations, driving on a suspended license, speeding, no seatbelts, and improper child restraints. IMPD Sergeant Michael Duke says their goal is to get as many cars through as possible and find the drunk drivers.
While the numbers might not be specifically high, when I go out in the night and make 15, 20 traffic stops, I don't make 15, 20 DUI arrests. So those numbers, obviously, you don't hit about 1,000 every time. You do your best.
Police and MADD say what's hard to measure about sobriety checkpoints is how many people they're deterring from drinking and driving. That's why police often advertise checkpoints in advance. They want you to know they're out there stopping drunk drivers.
Your deepest thoughts, your saddest woes.
As for Pam Kelshaw, she wishes someone had stopped the drunk driver who killed Selena.
I would love to see an increase in the sobriety checkpoints. I feel that they're out there doing it for Selena. Miss her.
All she has left is Selena's blanket, pictures, memories, and hope that her story will save someone else's life. Indiana is one of 37 states that allows sobriety checkpoints. And of course, police have other methods of catching drunk drivers, including stepping up patrols in areas where people drink. Kara Kenny, RTV6.
Well, police later caught up with the teenager who peeled out at the checkpoint and arrested him for resisting law enforcement and marijuana possession.